Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Welcome Home of Garden Plaza of Valley View. Kevin Miller with you on 107.5 FM, 580 AM, KIDO Talk Radio. Our friend Kat is with us. Kat, good to have you with us once again.
Hi, Kevin. Yeah, it's great to have you back in our dining hall here at Garden Plaza.
You know, before we get to our guest, there's certainly a lot going on this time of year.
Absolutely. With the holiday seasons right around the corner, you're never wanting for activity or hubble and bubble.
You know, we've heard so much from you, from Jen, from Sherry, from Pam about this is not a job, it's a calling. Could you share that with us for a little while, just what it's like every day to work with your friends?
Absolutely, and I think it's so true to say that it's a calling. We have so many people around us, and if you don't love what you do and if you don't want to be here, don't show up. It's going to be hard, it's going to be stressful, and it's going to get boring after a while. But if you love these people and if you feel a need to become a part of their lives and become a part of their families, because ultimately that's what we are. Our residents become our family members, and they become just ingrained in who we are and what we do, and it absolutely is a calling.
So, Kat, what brought you here?
I actually come from a rather unique background, from an education background. So I was a teacher for a period of time, and I absolutely love working with children, and I made the transition into senior care, which I figured was going to be just the world's most different environment and just be so outside of my realm of comfort. And I was pleasantly surprised to see that instead it boils down to the same fundamentals. It's caring for individuals, it's being a part of their lives, and it's opening up your heart and your mind to someone else and to something bigger than just you.
What have you learned since being here?
Oh my goodness, do you have 10 hours for my laundry list of things? I have learned everything from patience and diligence to listening and taking in what it is that people are saying to you and really finding a way to integrate that into what it is you do, and everything from the stories that you hear, the histories, the lives that people have lived, to, you know, learning a better way of doing things and working with, we have so many staff here. We're such a large community, and so it's such a great opportunity to work with so many individuals.
And how has that made you a better person?
I would say it's made me just calmer, and it's made me more patient, and it's made me more willing to open up my mind and heart to different things. And I think in general, we could all use a little bit more love in our lives.
A lot more empathy, I would say. Kat, who do we have with us here today?
Well, we have Miss Marie and Ed, and they are a couple that have just moved into Garden Plaza Valley View this week. They're brand new residents, and we're so thrilled to have them join us.
Yeah, we're thrilled to be here.
And you've made the big show already.
Yes.
Yes, you've arrived.
We're thrilled to be here. It's so much easier, so much nicer than where we were at.
Well, what caused you to take a look at moving and to come here?
Well, our price went up again, $300 a month. And so I decided to call a place for Mom, and she is the one that recommended this for us to come here.
And when you met with the staff, obviously this isn't your first rodeo. What were your impressions, Marie?
Oh, they're all wonderful. They're all very sweet and wonderful and very helpful and everything. And it's been a long journey for me with my husband, because it happened almost 3 years ago, and he had a stroke.
I'm sorry.
And it's been a learning process all the way through, and we're getting there.
Well, when you think about the world you live in now, and Kat, please jump in if you'd like. You know, when you have the staff that cares, that's supportive, how does that help you? How does that help your husband?
It helps a lot. It helps a lot to have everybody so supportive, and it means a lot.
Well, and if we're able to alleviate even one thing, even something as simple as we're going to do your housekeeping for you, we're going to cook your meals for you. If we're able to alleviate some of those really small things, so much more has changed. And then when we go the step further, at least I like to think we do, when we go that step further to become a part of your lives and your families and care for you on such a deeper level, I think that's where we really see the benefit, and we see our residents shine and thrive.
What's your favorite part about living here so far?
That I can take care of him myself. I wasn't doing it over there. I was in assisted living, and the price was astronomical. And So the new price is going to be a lot better. So, and that I gave him his first shower this morning.
He looks good.
And we've been married for 60 years.
Wow.
And so it's been quite a journey. We had a wonderful life, and we're still having one. So.
Well, you know,
Sure.
Kevin, I
Yeah.
do have to tell you, Marie told me that they were married for 60 years, and my heart grew about 3 sizes because I shared with her that I'm in the process of getting married, recently
Congratulations.
engaged. Thank you very much. And so I asked her, you know, what tips and tricks do you have that make it to 60 years?
Tricks.
Well, do you have any, Marie, that you would like to share?
Oh, I don't. I think you have to know from the very beginning that this is it. This is what I want for the rest of my life, and that's what happened to us. And
Well, how'd you two meet?
well, first of all, we were over in Nampa. He was in the Catholic school over there, and I was in the Central. And he would come over and get on the bus, and he told his friend, "I'm going to marry her someday."
Wow.
And so I didn't know him until I was a junior in high school, and then we started dating, and that was it. It was, and we got married right out of high school. So,
And you knew.
and we knew, yes, yeah, and we still do.
Exactly. So when we talk about the journey, can you share with us your 60 years together? And was it always in Nampa, or?
Oh no. He was a helicopter pilot, and he went to flight training school. So we went to Texas and Alabama, and then he wanted to go to fixed wing school.
Now, Fort Rucker, is that right?
Yes, Fort Rucker.
Fort Rucker,
Yes. And then he wanted to go to fixed wing, so we went back to Fort Rucker, and he got that. And he also put himself through college. And but then after that, it was kind of stressful because he was activated during the Berlin crisis, and that was when my second child was born, and so he didn't see him right away. So, but it all worked out. It all worked out really good. And then we traveled a lot.
Well, we thank you both for your service to our country.
Oh, thank you.
You know, a lot of folks don't understand. Not only, you know, today it's less than 1% serve in the military, but the family, and they've come a long way in, you know, support for the family and stuff. What was that like for you as a young military spouse?
It was stressful.
Yeah.
It was very stressful because you think about all these things. As I said, when the Berlin crisis started, that they'd be over Berlin before too long, and he never did go. They didn't have they activated him when they went to Seattle, and then our youngest son, he just retired from the Air Force, and he has 20 years in the Air Force, and so he's now working another job besides getting his military retirement. So. And it's been very helpful to have a military retirement. So.
Oh, yeah, the military does take care of themselves.
They do.
So what are you looking forward to here at Garden Plaza? I mean, again, you kind of like newlyweds, you just got here.
Well, I'm just excited that I can take care of him completely. I wasn't sure, you know, if I was going to be able to or not, because I was having help over at the other place. But it's so easy to take care of him. I'm not going to have a bit of problem with him.
Sure.
I've figured it out already, so.
Now, back to our friend Kat here. Any other, I mean, you've given her some specific advice, but I'd really like to learn the tricks.
Oh, the tricks. I don't know.
I like that you're looking at Ed for advice here.
Yeah. Did I pull any tricks?
Well, you know, the holidays are coming. Are you excited about the holidays?
Yeah, well, yeah, it'll be fun here with the holidays and everything. So, and I do love the food here. The food is really good. At the other place where we were at, I won't say who it was, but if we didn't like what they had, you had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and that's all you had. That was your choice. So a lot of times I would go to Burger King or to Subway and get us a sandwich. So, because we got tired of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Sure. And that is important. But, you know, here at Garden Plaza, Valley View, and Kat, maybe you can share with us, we've got a lot of activities coming up for the holidays, and that is so important because this is your home.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It absolutely is. Thanksgiving is right around the corner, and before we know it, it's going to be Christmas and New Year's, and oh my goodness, it's going to be Valentine's Day. And for Thanksgiving, we're going to do a big food drive. Our residents just a week ago or so painted some soup bowls, and they're going to get cast iron or fired, and we're going to donate those to the food bank as well. So we try to do as much as we can to give back. And I heard a rumor that for Christmas we're doing a children's book drive that's going to get donated to a school in our area that all of our residents will have an opportunity to participate in. So there's definitely an opportunity to feel connected to the community while also having that joyous holiday spirit in your heart.
Yeah.
Well, Marie, let's go back to you. Your favorite family memories?
Well, we traveled a lot.
Right.
We had a motorhome, and we traveled a lot. We went to Alaska for 6 weeks, and we went to
Now, where in Alaska?
Anchorage.
Wow. What was
And
that like?
It was wonderful. He got to go fishing. They have a base there, and he got to go fishing, got a halibut. And then he got to come back, and he got to clean it, and then cut it up and put it in ice, and we put it in the motorhome, and we had fish for quite a while. But he was really excited about that. And then we went to Niagara Falls and down through Branson. And
Well, we're going to hold that thought because we want to hear more about your travels next, along with Kat.
Okay.
You're listening to Welcome Home, Garden Plaza Valley View on KIDO Talk Radio. And welcome back to Welcome Home here on this Saturday afternoon on 107.5 FM, 580 AM, KIDO Talk Radio. Hope you're having a great day. We are here at Garden Plaza of Valley View. We've got our great friends, Kat, Marie with us, Ed as well, talking a little bit about your travels. And, you know, a lot of folks have never seen Niagara Falls. It's, east of the Great River, if you will. Could you share with us those memories?
Oh, yeah. We went there twice. The first time we went there, they had a little shelf you went out on, and you could see the falls. But this time, they had a trolley that they would take you around to different places. And we went over to the one place where they have an elevator that takes you way up in the sky, and you look right into the falls. And then you come down to the bottom, and they take you on a boat, and they give you all kinds of wet gear.
Yeah.
Because they take you right up into the falls. And then we
Hold
went.
on, what was that like, by the way?
Oh, it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful.
Was it as scary?
No.
You're in Niagara Falls, the falls going?
No, it wasn't scary. It was really fun. And then we went in and watched a movie, and they was telling about this guy was on a boat coming into the falls, and he'd lost his engine, and he didn't have a life jacket on, but his two kids did. And the one little girl, there was a little boy and a girl. The one little girl came up, and a guy pulled her out of the water, and the little boy went over the falls, and they found him at the bottom, but the father died. He's still there. They never did get him out of there. And the little girl got to go see the guy because at the time she couldn't go see him, and she got to see him later, and it was really an experience to see.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite place that you two have traveled? I mean, you've traveled so much in your motorhome and on deployment and everywhere else. Is there one that really hits home?
Well, we went down through what is it called? The Panama Canal on a cruise, and the boat had about 4 inches on each side to get through the locks, and that was a beautiful trip. You go on a boat for quite a ways, and then you come to the locks, and there's a lot of people there watching the boat go through, and it was.
Don't they like raise the boat or lower the boat or something?
They lower it.
Okay.
They lower it to get into the Pacific.
Right.
Yeah, from the Atlantic. Yeah. And then we went to Venezuela before we went into
Holy
the
moly!
locks.
You've been everywhere.
Yeah. Well, this was on the cruise that we
Okay.
went. Yeah. And they had people on each corner of the road with Uzis on their lap. It was scary then. So, and this has been probably, it was in I would say the late 90s, or the early 90s is when we went there. So, but that was a beautiful trip. It was really nice.
Which was more beautiful, the Panama or Venezuela or?
Not Venezuela.
No, not with the Uzis. Yeah.
Well, it was inspiring to see the locks and
Sure.
everything. Yeah, it was beautiful there.
No, I've seen that. So, it's amazing. You think of the work that went into that.
Oh yeah. And I don't know why we gave it back to Panama.
You got to talk to Jimmy Carter about that.
Did he do that?
He did that. Kat, this is just part of the lifestyle that folks have here at Garden Plaza Valley View. You were describing earlier about how stories, but it's not stories, it's history, it's real life events, have impacted you and have allowed these folks to come in and meet new friends and share experiences here.
Absolutely. You never know what you're going to hear. You never know what someone has experienced or what they're willing to share with you. One day they might be sharing a 5-minute snapshot of something that they did, and then the next day you're going to hear a 10-year journey. And that's someone's life, and that's what they've experienced, and that's what's made them who they are. And I think we all have those moments in our lives that we can look back on that says, that is what made me who I am today, or that helped to push me forward. And to hear what those stories are and to hear what makes someone is just so beautiful.
Right. Any advice you'd give, Kat? I know we already talked about marriage, but based on your years together and experience.
Oh boy, that's a hard one.
Or you can give me some advice. I always need all the help I can get.
Maybe start with him and then come back to me.
Just enjoy doing things. We even worked together for about. Everybody kept telling me, "Oh, you don't want to go to work for your husband," and we went to work together in '96. And we retired in 2008.
Well, what'd you do?
Insurance.
Wow.
I did the accounting for his insurance agency. And then when we sold in 2000, they asked me if I would do the insurance the accounting for their insurance agency, and so I did. And it was really a dream job. It really was.
Well, they do say that though. Couples. It takes a very special couple to work together. And then you have to worry about bringing the work home.
Yeah. Well, we did a little bit of that.
Yeah.
But we're still together.
Right.
You weren't ready to just pull your hair out at the end of it all?
Yeah. Well, it's harder when we had the employees.
Sure.
When you get out and you're working for somebody else, that was the best. That was the best job I had my whole life.
Now, what about your family? Can you tell us a little about your family?
Well, we have the one son that's retired in the Air Force, and he's my baby. And he comes every night and walks his father. And he's going hunting now, so he won't be in until next Monday. Then we have another son that's in Pocatello, and he comes down and jumps in on us every once in a while. So, yeah. And he helps out a lot, too.
Sure.
Yeah.
What does that mean to both of you that you're...
Oh, I couldn't have made it without them. I couldn't have made it without them because he's been there. Both of them have been there since this happened. And it's, he's taught him how to walk.
Okay.
Because we had him in a place where they didn't think he was going to get any better. And so he told them what to do, and it's working. He's walking now with he still doesn't have quite his balance,
right? And
he can't talk yet, but he talks once in a while,
right?
So and he answers me. He knows everything that's going on. So.
And how have you liked how the staff, like our friend Kat here, or we could call her Cupcake today? How do you like how the staff works with you and your family involved with your care and the care for your husband?
Oh, it was really good. That she came up yesterday and went over a whole bunch of things that really helped me. So and told me what I needed to know about the functions here and everything. So.
Well, that's something we recognize is that every resident is coming to us at a different point in their life or at a different, maybe have different needs, maybe have different questions, maybe, some of our residents might just need help with showing how to work our washers and dryers, and some residents just want to know what they can and can't do or what time lunch is. Like that question yesterday.
Yeah.
And so that's part of what I'm here to do is to make sure that any questions that our residents have, any needs that they may have are going to be answered. And our staff from top to bottom is here to support all of our residents in any way that we can.
How long does it take someone to get into the routine here?
I usually say there's 2 weeks of growing pains. you have the first couple days where there's a lot of help and a lot of support, and you have family usually still in town that's accompanying you to meals. And then by about day 4, most of the families tend to back off just a little bit, and it's kind of like day 1 by yourself, like first day of school, not quite sure where to sit in the cafeteria, that kind of thing. And then it takes about a week from there to understand the routine, to maybe schedule a doctor's appointment and use our transportation services. But from every step in that process, whether it takes just those first 2 or 3 days to get in that routine, or it takes the 2 weeks or more than that, we're going to catch up wherever we can and fill in those little gaps.
Right, and that is so important. And then working with the family.
Absolutely.
You know, if they have questions, or, you know, I would imagine the most frustrating thing would be if they have to question about their mom or dad and they're trying to get a hold of somebody and they don't know who to call or how to get a hold of somebody or who to get a hold of.
Well, and that's why as soon as our residents move in, I do sit down with them, like Marie was saying, and I go over just some ins and outs and questions. And my business card is the first thing that gets handed out, and on there is my cell phone number. And I pass that on to families as well and encourage them to use it as much as they can. That's why we have cell phones, so you can get a hold of me anytime, anywhere. And if I can't directly solve the problem at hand, I'm going to find the person that can.
It's good not to lose your cell phone.
Well, sure.
All right. Marie, anything else you'd like to share with us? We so appreciate you joining us here today, and welcome.
Oh, thank you for everything. I think I've kind of pretty well told you our life story, so.
Well, we've enjoyed it.
Okay.
We've enjoyed the journey, and here's to many more years on that journey for both of you.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, because he's getting so much better. He couldn't do anything when this happened, so. And
That's great to hear.
Yeah, and now he's walking and eating and doesn't have to have thickened liquids, and so it's been a good process. And by being with him every day, I've learned a lot, and so I can help him better.
Sure.
Yeah, so.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Kat, thank you very much. It's always good to catch up with you.
Always, Kevin. Thank you for having me again.
You're listening to Welcome Home on KIDO Talk Radio. Good afternoon, and welcome back to 107.5 FM, 580 AM. Welcome home of Garden Plaza Valley View. Pam Sternberg joining us once again, General Manager of this residency. And Pam, we've got a very special guest with us.
We do. My residents don't always think that anybody manages me or takes care of me or asks me to do something. And I actually have someone in my life that does that. We all do. And I guess we call her, in my world, we call her Faye. So I'll let her introduce herself and tell you a little bit about our home office. And we're actually owned by one gentleman who visits our community quite often. So I'm very lucky with the support I receive.
Well, hi there, everybody. How are you? I'm Faye Clever, and I am from Chattanooga, Tennessee. And I am the representative for Bright Space Senior Living, which is the management company for all of our communities. We have 6 communities that we manage. But we are a family-owned company, and so that family-owned company has been in the business multiple years and dedicated to people come first.
So and I think the one thing that's most important to me that the company brings to me or the organization is how much they let me be a part of the community in Boise, make decisions for our residents, and really stay with our mission and philosophy that the residents come first. Faye's role in that, I'll let her say a little bit about how long have you been in this business and came to be at Bright Space?
I've been in long-term care for 30-plus years, and from the hospital side, from nursing home side, assisted living. And when I found the assisted living world and independent, I think that's when I realized I was home. And so large companies are very important. They bring a lot of things to the table. But Bright Space is unique in that it's like a boutique management company that allows each one of their communities to operate independent with guidance. They know their communities at large, and they know what their residents are really looking for, and they detail to that calling more than just a corporate structure that has a list of things that have to be met every single day. Gives them that freedom to manage independently with guidance if need be.
I think that they bring to me just, when she says guidance, that means that I call her sometimes and say, I need to do this. And she says, okay, it's your decision. And sometimes in the world that we've been in long-term care, there's so many companies that have purchased companies that have become big monopolies almost, that coming to Valley View brought me back to 26 years ago when I worked for a company that was privately owned again and that trusted their general managers to make decisions and understand our community and the people we represented and the state we represented. And we to bring 100 jobs to Boise. That's just on the independent and assisted living side. And then our skilled nursing has probably, 105 employees?
How about that? Our
So,
largest.
and over 300 residents all under one roof. I always say I have the best real estate in town, and they allow me to manage it Idaho style.
And I think that's the fun part is Idaho style or Tennessee or North Carolina. I think that gives us that feeling of we're part of that community at large. And how do we provide for those people and give them the best life that they can have and deserve?
Well, we've heard from Pam about this is not a job, a lifestyle. From your perspective, how important is it to have the best in senior care, to take care of the residents here so it is their home?
Well, I think that when you come into a community like I visit often, Pam's my farthest away from our home office, but it's a relationship that we've all built. It's putting those residents' needs and thoughts and primarily their needs. And the need doesn't have to be medical. It could be any number of things. And so the driving force for all of us is how we have the freedom to put things in place for each resident, not make it just a cookie-cutter opportunity, but gives us the the opportunity to build that relationship that supports what their needs are. And Pam does a very good job. She makes my job very easy.
I would hope that when I first started here 2 years ago, they were just celebrating 30 years at this location with this facility, and it's been family owned for that long. So I think that when you have the owners that have the same reflection on your position that you do, makes my job 10 times easier. It makes it much more rewarding.
Sure. How many times a year do you come to Idaho?
Well, I come and stay. I don't just come and visit for a day.
You stay?
Yes, I do. I come and stay anywhere from 5 to 10 days. I have stayed much longer than that. And it's usually when we have a project that we're working on or trying to accomplish something in the long run, not a short fix, but something that's going to take a little longer. New dining room chairs are a brief thing that I do, but and she always does that. She has a look that you just know. And so dining room chairs could be something that we're working on, or new carpet, or a new program that we're wanting to put in place. So my time is scheduled longer in Boise because I can't make that quick turnaround time. It takes 12 hours to get here.
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
That's exactly right.
And she stays in-house. So if Faye leaves out, she actually stays in an apartment that we either a guest room we have available or an apartment. So she does eat, sleep, and drink the business when she's here.
I do. And the residents, it's a great time for building relationships and hearing their praises as well as some concerns. So they get a feeling of ownership is very focused on what is best for the community.
I would define that as one word: trust. Everybody talks about it, but having that trust.
Absolutely. And trust is something that doesn't come easy. It can come quickly in some situations, but sometimes there's community changes that are not always pleasant or comfortable to face, but if you build the trust ahead of time, it makes it much easier.
What about the industry itself? I mean, we're going from the greatest generation to the baby boomers. Has the industry changed at all, Faye?
Oh, my. Since I've been in it, we would be here for a long time if you wanted me to go down that path. But it has changed. You have to look at things, as Pam and I were talking this morning, and with all of our general managers, we all have to look at how is the industry changing every single day. And that's something I think you can count on, that it's going to change. every day in some way because we deal with real people. It's not, it's not, like I said before, a cookie cutter opportunity. It's dealing with people, their lives, and, the beginning of a new journey. How are they going to cover the cost of being in an independent or assisted living or even a nursing home or a rehab facility? That's something that Pam and Randall Barnes gets the opportunity to manage here is how is that whole world, that whole piece of senior care, how is that evolving over time? And there's always those financial pieces that have to be reviewed as well. And we take a big pride in being able to listen to what that family needs from not just the day-to-day care, but from the financial support that they need, and how do we best fit that for them. And let's have a conference. Let's talk about it. Let's see how that works in our continuum of care here at Valley View.
Well, and we've asked the staff. Let me ask you: how do you determine the right place for your parent or grandparent? Is there a secret to it?
I don't know that there's a secret. I think the thing that so many people think about is, it's another person to be on census from a care standpoint. Families look at it as, where do I find the best place for my mom? And what that family member thinks is the best place is not always the case. Sometimes it's just listening and hearing what that individual is looking for and how does that work for us. And I can honestly say that when Pam does this with her team, they're thinking not just about a move-in, they're truly thinking about the best possible care that can come for that individual. And that's a lifestyle. That's not truly about who's going to pass the medicines or who's going to take them on that event or that trip but how does this best fit with their lifestyle and the changes that are going to come, and how do we let them stay independent?
Indeed. More coming up here. You're listening to 107.5 FM, 580 AM. Welcome home every Saturday from 2 to 3 on KIDO Talk Radio. And welcome back to Welcome Home, Garden Plaza of Valley View. And once again, we've got Faye with us. We've got Pamela Sternberg, General Manager here, Kevin Miller on 107.5 FM, 580 AM. And it's all about care.
It's all about care. And in this time of year, it's all about giving back, too. We're going into next 4 days. It'll be Thanksgiving. So part of what I've learned in long-term care, and I think Faye can agree with me on this, is that our holidays are hard on residents. They're hard on families. They're hard on all of us. There's much expectation and sometimes not a lot of there's a lot of sorrow. So what we've learned, or what I've learned, and they let me do so well here, is that we give back. So right now, starting the 1st of November, we started with having food bank bins so that we can have canned food drive. So we've done that the whole month of November, and we invite this last week for the public to bring in any canned foods to add to our drive, and the food bank will be picking that up. And then that's part of our giving back for November.
How does that impact the residents?
I think that the residents, if you look at this generation and the things that and the people we've talked to throughout this show and that we talk to every day, their whole life has been giving back to their children, their community, their workplace, their homes. So in turn, that doesn't go away. When they move into a community like this, they want to be part of the bigger community of Boise. They want to give back to their community. Thanksgiving has a meaning. It's not just a turkey dinner. So what you have to stop and realize is that their lives don't change as long as we as a community continue to give them the opportunities to give back to their community, to be part of it. We talked the other day about, getting half-price cab services so they can go where they want and have more freedom and enjoy the things in Boise and go to the museum on a Saturday. That's what we're all about. So as long as we give them an opportunity as a community to give back to the community, we feel that we're part of it. That's what they want to be. So the food drive just shows that we're helping with the ones in need. which I think this generation and all of us strive to do to make ourselves better. And then as leading into December, we will collect books for a school, and we'll make a tree that has all children's books in it, and then we'll give those books to a local school so that they have them for their library. So I think that even the company supports us in the fact that it's not all about taking. It's not all about figuring out cares. It's not all about meetings. It's not about our day-to-day operations. It's about what the residents, community, what they enjoy and what they can give back and what we can bring to the table.
I agree 100%. In visiting with the residents this week, they're looking forward to the holidays. They don't want to just receive all the time. They like to be in the giving mode,
right.
And they see that coming, and they're excited about it. We like to give them a lot of freedom and flexibility in their schedule, and if there's something that they're very interested in doing, they would just take that to Pam and her team, and they make sure that happens for them, giving them that feeling of accomplishment and giving back to the community as well.
We have to ask you, since when you visit, you stay,
Yes.
do you have any special stories you can share with us?
Oh, boy, I bet I could.
Only about the residents.
Oh, heck. I was headed down a really good path. I think some of the successes that I've gotten to witness is people that have joined joined our community since my last visit, getting to meet them, hearing their life stories have been very, very encouraging to me. One lady in particular stopped me this morning and she said, "So how long are you here this time? Are you staying a while?" And I'm like, "Well, just 3 days." She said, "Oh, I want to go shopping with you." Never been shopping with her, but that's what she would like to do. So I said, "Well, we'll try to plan that." And she said, "Well, now, if that was that easy, can you take me to Hawaii the next time you go?" And so it's a lot of fun. They don't feel intimidated. They feel like they have an audience to listen to them. So I want to think about one lady in particular who she is it's not difficult, but I would say to make to trust and to make a relationship is difficult for her. She's a little slower on the take up for that. And so each one of my visits, when I hear, when she speaks to me and says, "Hello, Faye," she remembers my name, that's an important thing. Not the name, the fact that she reaches out and she's comfortable. So she's moving along each time I come closer to being more like a family member or someone that, she knows I come to visit. She wants to be part of that. These folks are very independent. They don't need me. They just, want to have friends and associations. And so it's important for me to remember when they went on vacation and to be able to sit down and let them share what they did. So I think the ones that are a little more standoffish are the ones that I really enjoy getting to know better.
We as we get ready for the holidays, is it more difficult for folks that have family or folks that don't? And for the folks that don't, what do y'all do?
I think that the community at large, if you allow them the parameters to take care of each other, they do. Bert said it even in his last segment as to how much friendship and long-term relationships he's found here. You will never have a Thanksgiving meal alone if you live at Garden Plaza. You will never sit by yourself on Christmas Eve. Santa Claus will always still visit you at this age. You will have, on another example, on Valentine's Day, you will have your bed turned down and a chocolate and a rose on your pillow. Those are just small things. On Christmas, there will be some kind of a gift. I think that if we stop and realize that the holidays are in the little things and the small things we do, and as a staff, we enjoy that. We bring that to the table. Sherry's phenomenal of thinking about great themes and ideas, but the little things behind the scenes we do, like on Christmas Eve when we know someone's here and doesn't have family, that we have someone stop in and visit with them before they leave work just to make sure that they're okay and they've had a good evening. On Christmas Day, it's like I said, Paul and I have been here every Thanksgiving, Christmas, Mother's Day, probably every holiday together for the last 2 years, and will be this year. So this isn't like I said, this isn't a job. It's a lifestyle, and if you embrace it and help to make their lives better, every person, whether they have someone or not, if you listen, you'll know how to bring that small piece of your heart to them. And I think that's the biggest part of being in a community, is finding those relationships that sitting at home 2 years before that, they may have been sitting alone in the dark on Christmas Eve thinking about everything they've lost. And here they've found a whole new community to bring a different dimension to their lives. That's what we hope to bring.
I agree. Listening is the most important thing, isn't it, Pam?
I think listening, and what I've learned is that sometimes the big elaborate show doesn't have half the meaning that visit, when you know somebody has had a loss and it was around Christmas time and you go into their apartment and acknowledge that you remember that happened last year and that we're hearing this together, and I remember that from last year, and 2 years ago it was better for you. What's happened in our past doesn't have to be an elephant in the room. If we embrace life and the celebration of life and the people that have gone before us and remember those things, that's what people want. That's what they look forward to. This generation has, and the age of this people in our community have a tremendous amount of loss that they've been through, or many holidays that have gone well, that they have phenomenal memories from, and holidays that were maybe a tragedy. And I think sometimes if we don't listen and understand what they need and what involvement they want to take and how to approach them and make them feel better, that's what we need to do as staff members, is make sure that we're part of how they want to be treated, and look at the holidays and embrace that piece. It's not all just all candy and flowers.
When Pam speaks of our residents, I don't want us to lose sight that our employees are just that important too. She reaches out to them in the same way that she reaches out to those residents, and gives each one of them that feeling of special. You don't just come to work. It's
Right.
his family.
You can't run a building like this and be in operations and do long-term care, and with what we can't pay our staff enough to stay. They have to want to come to work. And in orientation, I always say, if you come to work and enjoy coming to work and enjoy the residents and find meaning in that, you'll enjoy this job beyond anything you have ever done, and you'll stay and you'll embrace it. If you come and don't want to come to work or don't enjoy it, then don't come, because the reality is this is a hard job, and there's a lot of loss, there's a lot of joy, there's a lot of change, there's a lot of challenges. I wouldn't be here if every day wasn't different. The thing I loved about this industry when I walked into it, and it makes me probably crazy in face, probably as crazy as I am, the reality is that every day is different, every day is a challenge, every day has failure and success, but every day can be made better if you just listen, watch, and learn. And I've never had an industry give me that before I found this.
And we thank everybody for listening to Welcome Home. You're listening to KIDO Talk Radio.
Badoom.